The layout blueprint, we're going to talk about how to set up our layouts in Nuendo so that we can work smarter and not harder with Nuendo 13. Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk about layouts and how to set up our screen and windows within Nuendo 13 so that we can actually have the best layout for each task at hand in our project. So I'm going to show you the way I use workspaces and Windows configurations to create the perfect layout to every task in every project. So let's begin. Okay, so the whole idea behind today's video is that we can set up Windows easily to make quick changes. So, for example, I have this session where I have all these tracks, and I want to show just my drums so that I can just with one click easily one click see my drums only, or another click and see my guitars. Or if I'm working on my markers, for example, I can just click here and see my markers, and then I can just go back to it and go back to everything that I had in my window. All I've done with these simple clicks is assign different key commands to what we call, again, Windows configurations and workspaces, and that's what we're trying to set up today. So let's begin. Let me change my window. Okay, so this is the first thing I want to mention is the difference between both tools. The first one, which is all window configurations, will show me different sets of tracks. In this case, I can see all my tracks. I can switch between different layouts of tracks, and that's independent from the window, the editing window, and the mixer window. So you can have different layouts for your mixer and different layouts for your editing window. And the difference with workspaces is that workspaces that is in here, you are able to change the windows configurations. What windows do you want? Not what's in the window, but how do you want the windows to be seen? And in this case, I can just show you. I can jump to my ADR or my sound design, and between my editing window and my mixer window, and it will recall every different thing, the window that I had in that set. That said, let me show you the menus very quickly. I'm sorry. So here what we have is the different tracks that I want to have, the different tracks layouts that I want in my session. So I can see that I have my guide track in here and shows my guide. I can show my drums and different layouts in here. And it will not change anything within the window, just what tracks I'm actually seeing or not. So we can actually, this is the menu of the tracks that I have. So I can have as many, I don't remember the limit, but I think it's as many as you want. But you have only 8 key commands to recall them. So you have the option. For example, if I don't have any orchestral things in here, I do have a little. So I have a few tracks with orchestral things. So I want this to be recallable by a key command. All I have to do is change its position. So I want this to be the 8th, and now I can recall it with the click 1 and click 1, 2, and it doesn't. It's already there and it's reachable. So in this menu, we can, once we have one selected, for example, drum and bass, I want to take it out of here so I can put it in the 9th position. So I just move configuration to position number 9, and it is there in there now. And the rest of the menu is very simple. Add configuration, update a configuration. If we make a change, we can update it, rename it, because we can maybe change that configuration to another whole thing, and delete the configuration because we are not using it. And this applies exactly in the same way to the mixer window. You can have the same menu. In this case, it's called the same because I like it to match, but as you can see, I have an automation that I didn't have in the order and things like that. And again, add configuration, update, rename, delete, and move configuration so that it can be reachable. When the key command works for each window, but it's the same key command. It will recall, in this case, if I call the fifth in here and I close my mixer window, it doesn't change what I had selected in the editing window. But the key command is the same. I can go to fifth now, and I can go to 3 here, and then go back to my window and go to 3. So I can switch, and it's independent. It's the same key command to recall each window configuration, but it's not related or matching the editing window with the mixer window. They are independent, and that's very useful because you want certain things in the mixing window and certain things on the editing window. And workspaces basically does the same. So we have a menu that we can recall, and you can have a key command for each, and you can again open a window, for example, and which is organized, and you can organize and delete and see which ones you have and what's the key command for that. So I don't use that many. I use a few, and there's you can see you can have global workspaces and you can have project workspaces, and the global will apply to every session you open, and the project workspaces will apply only to the project that you have. This is very handy in the sense of you're working on a very different project that the ones you are used to work with, and you can create your workspaces for that and assign key commands to that so that you can not mess with the ones that you normally use. And that's very useful. And again, within the window, you have no workspace, update the workspace, add a workspace, and organize them, which is the way you set up which one goes on top, and again works very similar to that. Workspaces actually relate every window in the DAW. So for example, I have my editing window here, and I have my mixing window here. That's something that but with different settings, and I can change them, and I can recall, for example, my sound design, so that I can bring sound effects in here, or I can call my ADR window layout and things like that. For example, this is for the Ravens when I have the menu on the bottom and things like that. Okay, so how do you create a Windows configuration very easily? Okay, so here I have all my tracks, and I want to create, for example, just an editing, drum editing layout. So I go to visibility, and since what it does is show and remove and hide whatever I have, that one just the drums, I'm going to hide everything else. I don't want to see the MIDI drums. I don't need that in this session, and none of the guides and inputs and things, just like this. And what I'm going to do is create a configuration. So I click here, I have a key command, but you go to the menu, add configuration, and it's called this drum editing. Once I give it OK, I already have it, and I'm going to change the size of this and the size of this a little bit. Let me see if I can do that. And that's okay as it is right now. And those things are independent, the size of the windows and the size of the tracks and things. That's not recorded in the layout. And as you can see, I have it on my 10th in the list. So what I'm going to do so that I can recall it quickly is put it on the 8th position, so I can recall it with the click of a key command. So I can go to all my tracks and then go to my only editing drums window. And that's very simple. And if I wanted it to match that, I can do that in the mixer window. Okay. Okay, so let's create a new workspace for this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set up this window so that I can, um, you know, easily edit my drums with all the references or windows that I want. So the first one that I want to recall is I'm open up my mixer and open supervision and hide my mixer. And now I will set up the size of this window so that I can put supervision in here. And since I have supervision, I don't need my side panel here, neither those two. And let's say that I want to see my mixer down here, so I can show my mixer console. Very little as it is. And all I have to do is go to workspaces and add the workspace. And I just call this drum editing. I want this to be a global workspace so that I can fit into my template, and so that I can, every time that I want to edit drums in my template, it's in there. But if I want this just to be related only to this project, all I have to do is clicking here and it'll be just for this project. But I wanted it to make it global, so I'm going to click OK, and there you go. The next thing I have to do now is make sure that I can reach it within a key command. So I'm going to open the organizing window, find it in here, and there it is. So I'm going to move it up with these arrows until I reach position 8 so I can recall it. Okay. So now if I close that and I have my main window now, and I can go to my workspace number 8 and see all that I had, and you can see it's all set up very quickly and easy. In here, if I change my layout, it will change my layout. So we have to do both switches. So I have to go from my main window in the window configuration to my drum editing window, and then my drum editing workspace. And this is independent from my layout on the mixer. This is just for the editing window. So for example, I'm working with my son and I'm mixing my son and I'm having this and I have all my tracks, for example, and I want to edit my drums very quickly. All I have to do is basically click my window configuration and then my workspace configuration, and there I am. So as you can see, it's super easy and super quick. So as you can see, it's actually very easy to create your own layouts. Creativity and your needs are going to make your perfect window layout, in the sense of what you need is what you're going to create. For example, I have this setup for sound design where I have my media bay and sound effects in here, so I can quickly drag and drop from one window to another. And as I showed you before, I have this one for ADR, so I can have my complete ADR window here, so I can control the session and see all my tracks in here. And everything is independent from my mixer window, which is all cool because it's very handy on one click. And again, everything I switch is very super fast, as you can see. And so all you have to do is think, what do you want to do? Because I haven't changed my layout. I'm sorry, I haven't changed my template. So is what do I need to do with my template, within my template, with my windows, that I can actually need to see what plugin I need to open for that task, or what window do I need for this or that. So you will be able to create your most customized for your needs window layout very easily. So as you can see, it's very easy to create the perfect layout. It will depend, as I said, on your creativity and your project needs, but there's no need for you to be scrolling around and moving windows and closing windows, when you can just create a workspace and you create your Windows configuration so that you can easily reach what you need for the task in need, in the tasks that you have to actually attend within your projects. And this is very personal. All you have to do is think on how of way to take advantage of these processes and make it your workflow very fast without changing your templates or your sessions, just by configuring windows and workspaces, and work very much in my from my point of view smarter and not harder. So again, as always, thanks a lot for your time, and see you on the next one.